Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To our beloved lecturer Dr. Suryani Binti Muhammad. We are from group 17. We will present our assignment about the technological substitution towards digitalization. First, I will introduce myself as a leader of my group. My name is Ahmad Fakhrul Razi bin Razali, number matric as 5623. This is the contents outline of our assignment group.
Industrial Revolution 4.0 has changed the economic landscape through technological substitution to digitalization, which directly affects farm production. The replacement of technology has an impact on capital as well as manpower. There will be an increase in capital and reduction in labor. The replacement of technology allows firms to produce a certain quantity of output by using fewer input. Not only that, but technology can also improve product quality throughout the production process of the good. Technology replacement can increase the efficiency of firm in terms of increased productivity as well as reduce the occurrence of waste of production input. The technology affects the labor force with reduction in the labor force used in the manufacturing sector, where the labor force is replaced by machine to increase production output. From that, firm can reduce production costs such as labor wage, where labor wage are paid according to the hour they work. But with the use of this technology by using machine, labor wage can be reduced.
My name is Nur Farizatu Insyirah binti Kamaruddin Bahari, matric number S55530. I will present about the cost of production from the previous topic. Cost of production, long run cost. Long run cost refers to the period of time during which the quantity of all inputs used in the production of goods and services can be changed. Giving an example, a keropok leko entrepreneur has hired his employers to do the process of making keropok leko. Next, two different combinations of labor and physical capital for the keropok leko manufacturing process are shown in Table 1. The first production technology is to use labor, while the next technologies replace machines for workers. Look at Table 1. Production methods that use traditional methods must provide a large number of workers, while production methods that use high-tech tools use few workers but many machines. Now, we look Table 2. Show the calculation of production caused by a keropok leko films when the employer's wage is 30 and the machine cost is 80. So, with the replacement of technology in terms of new production methods that can produce more output with the use of less input. So, I conclude the effect of such situation causes the film's production cost to be low. Next, I will explain about the technological substitution towards individual and market demand. Before I explain about that, we need to know what individual demand and market demand. Individual demand is the total quantity of goods and services that an individual wants and can afford to buy at a certain price level in a given period of time. Look at individual demand curve. The curve has a steeper slope, while market demand is the total quantity of goods and services that all individuals want and can afford to buy at a given price in a given period of time. The market demand curve slope more sloping. Next, I give example of situation when some people run smartwatches online business. We know that smartwatches are very popular among everyone because they have various functions. We assume in this business, there is definitely a lot of competition, so the retailer sells the watch at a lower price than other retailers. The following table shows the impact of technological substitution on individual and market demand. We can see the number of individual demand at a given price level. We know individual demand influences market demand. From the table, the individual demand curve and the market demand curve can be drawn as above.
Next, the technological substitution towards labor market. The replacement of this digital technology will bring about change in the labor market, where there will be a decrease and increase in the demand and supply of labor in various sectors. The replacement of digital technology reduced the use of labor in the manufacturing sector by replacing the labor force with technological equipment that can perform tasks such as labor. So this affects the decline in labor supply. Using technology equipment does not require a lot of labor to perform the production process and only require labor that can operate the machine efficiently. So in a company, there is a service sector where the replacement of the digitization technology does not affect the existing workforce. According to the study of Walter, technological substitution does not cover the impact of digitization on the service sector, even creating new job opportunities for the community, such as marketing and digital strategy, data analytics, and so on. In this table, we can see the increasing job demand and decreasing job demand from the Future Job Report 2020 World Economic Forum. From this digitization technology, open new job opportunities that are technology intensive in every employment sector. We can see the change from the service sector to the information technology service sector. Using digital technology affect the labor tasks which normally they perform their tasks physically, and now with digital technology the way they work change in terms of time, place of work, and even communication. They can do their work where they are at regardless of the time. Since it's be easier for labor, but it's not. This job shift puts pressure on labor to adapt to new technologies. Said that from this digitalization, technology has a negative impact on employee attitude. From the World Economy study also shows 78 of business employers expect negative effect in the way of current work and labor productivity. So to face the challenges in this digital technology by providing early education to young people, especially knowledgeable in technology and information, skill in the using new technology machine, and creative and innovative attitude are needed to seize new job opportunities that arise as a result of digital technology. Taking this job take time and good training for employees or the workforce to adapt to the change that occur as a result of digitalization technology.
Next, I will explain about the technological replacement towards firm competitiveness. By the way, I am Fatin Nabila Muhammad Zulkifli S55537. Technological substitution can be determined as the process by which disruptive technologies replace the dominant ones in an industry by Bridge Doty and all 2007. A firm's competitiveness depends on its ability to innovate and upgrade, to adapt quickly to market changes, and to improve quality by expanding its market share at the expense of less efficient firms. Firms with a competitive advantage over others typically have access to special resources that others do not, or able to use resources more efficiently, resulting in higher revenue growth, profitability, productivity growth, all of which ultimately, in the long run, translate into higher stock market valuation than their competitors. Here, I will explain a bit about the Porter competitive forces model that shaped the fate of the firm. Firstly, new market entrants. New companies have certain advantage such as not being locked into old equipment and high motivation, as well as disadvantage such as less expertise. Secondly, substitute products and services. The more substitute product and services in your industry, the less you can control pricing and raise your profit margins. Third, customers. The power of customers grows if they can easily switch to a competitor's products and services, or if they can force a business and its competitors to compete on a price alone in a transparent marketplace where there is a little product differentiation and all prices are known instantly, such as on the internet. Fourth, suppliers. The more different supplier a firm has, the greater control it can exercise over suppliers in terms of price, quality, and delivery schedule. Here is an example from digitalization in education context. For instance, the situation between students and instructor interaction during the COVID-19 pandemic. As we all know, every student should continue learning online through a virtual meeting app. Not to mention the lecturers who must use virtual meeting app to teach students at any level from high school to university. Cisco Webex Meeting, Google Meeting, Microsoft Teams, and Zoom Meeting are examples of popular meeting applications used by both students and educators. This is show that the firms are increasingly competing for these applications because they provide nearly same services as online meeting platform, though there may be some differences for each application offered by each firm. These apps all have the standard features for video conferencing, online meeting, and are therefore in the spotlight these days. There are some differences in terms of interface, ease of use, functionality, and price. In a nutshell, for companies or institutions that are using Google Meet and Microsoft Teams, respectively, are clearly the best choice. The functionality is not limited to video conferencing only, and they are no additional cost. On the other side of the playing field, you will find Zoom Meeting, where Zoom has the most extensive feature set. Moreover, expansions to WebEx Teams is possibly when more collaboration functions are needed. This is all determined by Eric Scherer 2021. For instance, University Malaysia Terengganu chose Cisco WebEx as the main online platform for teaching and university programs purpose. This is show that the way of technological substitution towards firm competitiveness, which is physical classes exchanged to online classes due to COVID-19 pandemic. Last, for part A, the technological substitutions toward economic collectively. Technological choices largely determine the long-term characteristic of industrial society, including on the natural environment on a microeconomic side. The technological change has long been recognized as an important driver of economic growth by Silo 1957. The government of Malaysia recognized the opportunity and challenge provided by the digital economy to serve as a new driver of growth for the economy as well as a new source of fiscal revenue. By utilizing the internet, smartphone, big data, the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and other technologies, Malaysia can increase productivity, spur innovation, and improve livelihoods. Digital technologies can drive economic growth in Malaysia through three channels. First, they can promote inclusion by enabling existing firms and entrepreneurs to serve markets that are currently underserved. Second, they can lower costs and increase efficiency for existing firms and entrepreneurs to make them more competitive. Thirdly, they can encourage innovation and scale economics, allowing entirely new form of business and entrepreneur to emerge. So, to conclude this, the government needs to ensure it collects enough revenue in a manner that does not disadvantage domestic companies to adequately fund the infrastructure, financing, and educational program that spark and will sustain growth in the digital economy.
The opinion on consumer behavior in digital market. First is ability to research and experiment. Second, accessible words of mouth. Third, less patient, high expectation, and last, impulsive buying behavior. The first point of opinion on consumer behavior in digital market is the ability to research and experiment. For the example, modern-day consumers have become exceptionally good research when it comes to making a purchasing decision. They are gaining more insight and awareness as technology empowers them with a critical approach to making decisions online. The second point is the accessible word of mouth. For example, word of mouth is not something new. It is used both by brands and consumers to make business happen. Word of mouth is definitely the biggest factor that affects consumer behavior. Next, the third point is less patient, high expectation. With technology, the consumers have become noticeably impatient as their expectation for fast, efficient service have doubled. Exposed to online customer reviews and forums, they receive sentimental real feedback on product and service. And lastly, the point is impulsive buying behavior. Digital marketing has successfully augmented the impulse buying phenomena. An impulse buying decision is essentially made directly before making the actual purchase. In other words, impulsive buying is a spontaneous decision that is made in a spurs of the moment, when generally customers usually pre-plan their purchase and pre-choose the product that they wish to buy.
Next, how it can change the market structure. First, it can cause increase of global market power. Consumers tend to choose cheaper and usually products from the low-cost production countries. This overseas product or import provide more choices to consumers, and because they are usually manufactured more cheaply than any domestically produced equivalent, imports help consumers manage their strained household budgets. When there are too many imports coming into a country in relation of its export, which are products shipped from the country to a foreign destination, it can distort a nation's balance of trade and devalue its currency. Higher sales concentration and apparent increase in aggregate markups have led to concern that product market power has risen substantially, which is a potential explanation for the falling labor share of GDP, sluggish productivity growth, and other indicators of declining business dynamism. Even without cost inefficiencies, greater monopoly power is still a negative supply shock to the economy. In the long run, real wages will need to fall to restore an inflation rate consistent with the central bank target. This will mean a lower participation rate as work is less attractive and higher unemployment. Besides, it also can trigger the dynamic market. Digital market in many cases highly dynamic, which leads to quickly shifting market boundaries, which leads to monopolistic competition. The trendy products used to take place in a time but easily change due to new trend. This shows the monopolistic competition between the seller through the digital shopping platforms such as Shopee, Lazada, and Carousel. In digital markets, market definition becomes increasingly complex due to several reasons such as determining a substitutive effect, asymmetric substitutive effect, high fees, low marginal cost, multi-sided market, missing price, and more. However, this does not necessarily imply that the market power relation actually changed, because the relationship between market share and market power is unclear, especially in digital market. Third, affect the growth of courier services. The use of the internet technological developments make it easier for e-commerce to evolve exponentially in the courier service sector, connecting businesses, organizations, government, and individuals together. E-business firms' dependence on courier companies was satisfactory. It was found that with organizations that had supply chain interfirm dependence not only had a positive effect on their financial performance, but the development of technology or e-business systems development is also improved. Increase the human capital in courier service, mostly concentrate on courier or rider services or worker, but it can cause the increasing pressure to seller due to late or bad services by third-party service. It could help to recognize the current management and capacity levels, as well as the role of courier services and e-business performance. Thus, it could help both of them to renew their views of intercompany dependence management effects, as well as to enhance their organizational practice and that they will survive the market. Lastly, the risk of shortage in market. When the consumers' demand are higher than goods supply, prices tend to rise because consumers compete to purchase those goods. The increase in price will be too much for some consumers and they will no longer demand the product. The digital market changed most of the common activities in life into visual, including shopping and services. The usage of smartphones that become a basic need nowadays leads to excess demand in market due to online.
In my opinion, criteria of the market structure still relevant to the new era of digitalization. What is the criteria? First, number of sellers. Second, entry condition. Third, type of product. And last, control over price. First point is the number of sellers. The number of sellers still relevant due to the digitalization take over the market structure. An increase in the number of sellers in perfectly competitive markets and monopoly markets happen, which the lower business capital to start a business, and a wider network of customers and not focus on a single locality. The number of sellers increase. The second point is the entry condition. The entry condition also still relevant to the digitalization era because the widespread internet access or the over the world makes foreign markets free to enter the country without restrictions from the government.
The next criteria is the type of product. Machine tools-based product. Nowadays, machine tools are widely employed in a variety of industries including automotive, aerospace and defense, general machinery and more. Based on market analysis report, machine tools market size, share and research report 2021, the global machine tools market size was valued at $112.78 billion in 2019. And it is projected to reach $151.9 billion by 2027. It is obvious that the advancement of machine tool technologies has a profound impact on the global economy. Manufacturing systems become more flexible, more intelligent, and more autonomous. Thus, enable mass customization, which improve product quality and production efficiency. Digitalization and servitization of machine tools become a major requirement as well as a critical challenge. In fact, the technological evolution of machine tools has, to a large extent, mirrored the history of industrial revolution. Agri-food sector's product. Currently, the agri-food sectors take advantage of modern machinery, tools, and emerging information and communication technologies (ICTs) that consider the Internet Things IoT capabilities. This implementation have given way to new era of agri-food production called Agri-Food 4.0, where automation, connectivity, digitalization, the use of renewable energies, and efficient use of resources are predominant in the sector. The sensing, smart, and sustainable S3 concept is applied to develop new technologies that can respond to current challenges of agri-food industries. The S3 technologies applied to the agri-food sector, an intelligent greenhouse, a sun tracker trajectory, and an agriculture drone. Agri-foods include agriculture, horticulture, and food and drink processing technologies. It produces crops, livestock, and livestock products, including but not limited to field crops, fruits, vegetables, and horticultural specialties. Control over price. The digitalization of the economy leads to significant changes in the way companies determine their prices. Technological changes basically influence the corporate environment since the basis for pricing can be improved. The pricing model can be used first, the digitalization makes it possible to offer products and services for free to the consumer, while at the same time other sources of revenue streams such as advertising revenue are generated. Secondly, freemium models are especially popular with startups, which are also free of charge for a basic service, but for upgrade services, which is full range of features, no ads, users pay a fee. LinkedIn, Dropbox, and Spotify are prominent examples of this pricing model. Thirdly, subscription models have a strong boost. Since production costs drop when new business models are based on digitalization, subscription models like Netflix, which have a long tradition, become more attractive nowadays. Fourthly, pricing models with flexible prices which are dependent on demand and customer profile will be discussed. Dynamic pricing has a growing importance in online trading, but it is also being applied more frequently in retail stores.